Good afternoon, good morning, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I have got questions for you. What opens with some acknowledgement that Mr. Ryan is a little bit over the top? He's a little bit much. And what closes with Mr. Jeffy admitting that he might be a little bit much. It might have some work to do. If you guessed, look, my notes keep slipping. If you guessed Married at First Sight, on Lifetime, The Honeymoon Part 2, Season 6, Episode 5, or if you just read it in the description bar, you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I am Angela, and you are one of the 1,000 first subscribers, right? If you're not, go ahead and subscribe. You can be one of the 1,000, one of the 1,000. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing if you like what I do here. I think I'm doing Making a Model tonight, tomorrow. I'm watching it tonight, I think. I like that show. So I just put up America's Next Top Model. It should be up as I'm recording this now. Maybe it'll pop up while I'm recording it. We did Love and Hip Hop Miami. I got a lot of reality shows in the queue. And you know what shows I'm really, really loving? And I'm like, I don't know if I have time to review them, but I feel like I need some scripted shows. I am really, really loving Black Lightning. I like Black Lightning. And I'm really, really liking the haves and the have-nots this season. There's been some developments that I'm really like, I kind of want to talk about. And then there's another show that I can't think of now that I was like, I could do. Oh, The Quad. I like The Quad. I'm liking The Quad. So I don't know. I kind of want to like loop up, catch up with them and add them onto the loop, but I don't know if it's too much. I don't know because I'm doing 7. But anyway, I've got Married at First Sight, Married to Medicine, Real Housewives of Atlanta are things that I'm already reviewing. Check out the other videos. Let us proceed with the daggone videation of the video and the review and the recap and the analysis of the situations with the 3 couples who got married at first sight 6 days ago, 7 days ago, they didn't know each other. 6 days ago, they met each other and got married. And here we are on day 6 of their marriage. They've been in Ocho Rios on a honeymoon. This is the final few days of their honeymoons. They're looking ahead to real life in Boston. I think that's what one of the experts tells us. We see Ryan and Jackie, and they're trying to figure out where they're going to stay when they get back. And they decide that they're going to be back and forth until they find their own place. So one night at your place, one night at my place, one night at your place, one night at my place, and then eventually we'll find our place and we'll just stay night after night after night and be happily ever after, married happily ever after. So they compromise. So far, me and Jackie are getting along great, says Ryan, and they're all hugged up and bonding. Oh, they're all hugged up on the balcony. They're not bonding, but you know what I'm saying. We see Molly and Jonathan. They are going dune buggy riding, and he's adventurous and outgoing and exactly what I asked for. Miss Molly let us go, but she's starting to notice his energy level is a lot higher than mine, says Molly. And I asked him to take it easy when we were dune buggy riding, and then he went through a huge puddle. Why he do that? Womp womp. It kind of, it's kind of like a little bit of a turnoff to her. I think that's what she's expressing. We see Shanice and Jeffy, who we're rooting for. We're rooting on y'all. What's going on in real life? This is like real time. I haven't looked them up on Twitter or anything, so I don't know. The last black couple, I had looked them up on Twitter, and I was like trying to discern through their Twitter ration what was going on and if they were together in real life. But I haven't had time this time, and I'm just going to watch the show. I might, if I have, I don't know. But anyway, we're rooting for all the couples, but I have a particular rotation for Shanice and Jeffy. They're having a somber breakfast. It's dry. They're very distant from each other. They end up having a session with Reverend Black Man. What's his name? Dang, I got it written down later. He asked about their biggest challenges, and she says, the biggest challenge that I'm having is him telling me that I'm a stranger. and he doesn't know me. And Jeffy is like, well, I don't plan on jumping the gun. I mean, I want stuff to flow. I'm not just here giving out trust. I mean, what you think this is, the First Bank of Trust? No, I mean, what you think I did, just get married? We ain't married. Oh, we are married? Well, we need to go slow because I don't know you. And Shanice is like, I'm basically done. Like, I don't really know what else to do. So, I don't know. And then Pastor Calvin, that's his name, he says, well, Shanice has been fully invested from day one, and Jeffy has to make his wife feel wanted. We don't want him to put on the brakes too hard, too much, And then Jeffy is like, well, I don't see how to make this stranger feel wanted, I guess is what he's saying. And Pastor Calvin is like, you're going to make her feel unwanted, right, Shanice? And we took the time to match you up. Like, there's some experts who work to match you up. So you kind of need to trust us. You say you want to take baby steps, Jeffy. But what I say is that you're beyond baby steps because you're already married. You're beyond baby steps. You're beyond kindergarten. I expect you to be in middle school. And Jeffy is like, okay, Pastor Calvin. And I was like, okay. See, at the beginning, I couldn't figure out if I was like more concerned. I'm like, did Shanice jack it up? What's going on with y'all? I want y'all to just get it together. But now I think Jeffy, I think, you don't want to jump the gun, but you jumped into being married to somebody. So it's too late to not jump that gun. But here you like, I don't want to jump no more guns. We see Ryan and Jackie, and they're shopping at a craft market. And he's like, oh, this isn't a tourist spot. And I'm looking around, I don't know, but I'm like, sir, it looks like a tourist spot to me. He says, this is one of the spots where you find unique things. And I see people are handcrafting things, tourist type things, it looks like to me. And then he put on this hat with the fake locks. And I start getting like, I was kind of low level annoyed. Then I start getting like middle level annoyed. Like, I don't like it. And then he says, Ryan says about the black men who are working there, at one point he says, we got to make them work for a living. And I'm like, they already work for a living, sir. You don't have to make them work. We don't need any daggone slave drivers here on Married at First Sight. Okay, just focus on your wife. And then he goes on to say that he has to keep these guys honest. And I'm like, by now it's like my level of annoyance has really arisen because I kind of feel like, who says that they're not honest, and how are you? You're trying it, sir. So I was glad that scene was over. We went on to Molly and John with the counselor, Counselor Jessica, and Miss Molly is like, John has a lot of energy, and he's kind of like a man child, and I don't want to sleep with someone who's acting like a 12-year-old. And John is like, screw! Like, wait 1 second. You didn't, what? I didn't know this. And I was like, oh, no, oh, no. I felt nervous. Like, is this going to, like, eat at him and he not going to be able to get over it? And John is like, this is coming out of This is coming out of nowhere. I'm her husband. Why didn't she say this to me? And, I'm a wait and see kind of person, he says to the counselor. He says, we'll wait until we get back to normalcy to see, which I was like, okay, hallelujah. I didn't want him to get upset. I feel like everybody doing the best they can. Molly probably could have, should have communicated it to you, but she probably didn't know how to communicate it to you. And also she was probably still processing, and it just crystallized there with Counselor Jessica, Dr. Jessica. And, John is upset, but he says he's committed to the marriage. And Molly's like, did I come off a little strong in there? She can sense that it's a little off. And John is like, well, the last thing I want to do is make you never want to sleep with me. And I was like, oh my God, that's some stuff that I say, because, sometimes I might hold a grudge. That's some stuff that I say when it's like, I'm done. You don't have to never worry about me being a man child again. Okay, so we're on day 7 of the marriage. Shanice is on the beach. She's joined by Molly and Jackie, and then we see the men together also. It's a support group meeting of the Married at First Sight folks. Yay! So Molly is really excited. She says she is dying to sit down with the girls, and she wants to know the real. Like, how did you feel when you first saw them? And then Jackie is like, they are both on an emotional roller coaster, and she's glad that everybody is feeling what she's feeling. And then the men are like, how was your call with the experts? And John is like, it was stupid. And Jeffy is like, oh, well, what was the gist? You don't have to tell us the details. And then back at the women, Molly is like, he's kind of a little bit draining. I feel like, I'm sucking the fun or whatever. And then back with the men, Jeffy is like, well, I'm not allowed to call her a stranger or say that I don't know her. And then John is like, well, you don't know her. And Jeffy is like, I know exactly. If we weren't married, I would have walked out. And then Shanice is like, how can I open up? He's calling me a stranger. And then we find out that they're sleeping in separate beds. And I thought they were sleeping in separate beds. I figured they were sleeping in separate beds, but they were sleeping in separate rooms. This was my big shocker of this episode. I'm like, they sleeping in separate rooms? Like, she traumatized that man so bad, I think, with the lap dance, and then with telling him that she hadn't had sex in 4 years and she was really excited, or that she had been celibate, or just the fact that she talked about sex. And then I think they just sealed the deal when she mentioned that there were condoms on the counter. He probably in the other room, he probably got his chair pushed up against the door, like, oh, you're not coming in here and raping me overnight. But Jeffy is a big guy and Shanice is not that big, and I think Jeffy could probably take her, but he not taking any chances. He like in the whole other room. That's what I found out during this episode. I don't know if I found it out now. And the other women are like, I can't imagine not having any physical contact with my husband. And then Jackie tells the women that she had sex with her husband. She says there was so much chemistry and it was good. And she thinks that these are women that she can trust, so she's happy that she told them. And then Ryan is talking about his unemployment. He's been unemployed for a week. Not Ryan. John has been unemployed for a week. And Ryan is like, you still unemployed? Well, I've never been unemployed because, I know where I'm going in life. And me and John were like, sir? And then Jeff D is like, I like Ryan and John. They're very different, but I don't think they like each other. We see Molly and John, they're having drinks. It's kind of tense. Then John kind of breaks the ice. Molly went to a performing arts school. It's like he's engaging her. I think he's taken her feedback and he's corrected. So he's corrected his, like course correction. I'm not saying he was wrong, but he just has a better beat on her and how to interact with her. So he's interacting with her. He's learning that she went to performing arts school, has done contorting, like she was a contortionist. He resists the direct joke, but they're vibing. She's laughing. He's pulled back just enough, to kind of get that chemistry thing going. So I'm like, yes, John. Yes, Molly. We're rooting for you. Then we're back with Shanice and Jeffy. They're on the beach. They're excited about going home. And Jeffy is like, well, I go to work early at the crack of dawn at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I don't get home until 5. So, and I have this crazy commute. I can't do a crazy commute. I have to stay at my place. But, I get up so early. I don't think you can stay there. And Shanice is like, well, your place is cool. And Jeffy is like, I'm not sure about living with someone. But he had a roommate who just moved out. And then it's kind of like, I have an extra room. And Shanice is like, well, we're in separate beds. I don't want to be in separate rooms with my husband. That's what she's saying in her interview. Like, this is really not inspiring a lot of confidence in me, how he's handling this. And I'm kind of like, now, when he was like, okay, when they said, married at first sight, you're signing up, you're auditioning, you're filling out the application, didn't they disclose to him that they were going to have to live together? I mean, didn't he think about that? Like, we're married, so we're going to... But he just seems like very resistant. So, John, we're going to need you to, just engage in the experience, the experiment, the process. Engage, sir. I'm like, what was his vision of marriage at first sight? Living in separate lives and taking it slow? Like, maybe he thought he was going on a dating show. He feels that things are moving too fast. He's trying to be open, but he knows who I am. I know who I am. I close up when things are uncomfortable, and we see that, sir. We see that. So anyway, we talked about them. Then we're at day 8 of the marriage. Ryan and Jackie are at dinner, and Ryan is feeling real good about the marriage, and he's feeling successful as a husband. And then he goes to reciting his vows, and I'm like, what is this corny mess? Y'all been married about a week. I don't think I don't think we don't need to be reciting the vows again, sir. And Jackie is kind of like, thank you. I think he's a little bit over the top, she says. She wants to believe him. She hopes that she can trust him. I hope you are as sincere as I think you are. So she's having some concerns about his sincerity. Like, he's really doing the most. Like, I just love you so much. I'm so happy to be married. Maybe he's just happy. But it does make you kind of like, he tries to talk over her while she's talking to him, and I applauded her because she continued talking, and it kind of illustrated the point that she was making when she says, I need you to listen to me, and I just hope that you are sincere. And Ryan says, I really am. I mean, like, really very sincere. Like, I am the most sincere. I'm like, since the sincerest of the sincerest, the height of sincerity. He didn't say all of that. But when someone is like, I am, it's kind of like some stuff you just have to learn from experience. So somebody telling you, I'm honest, some stuff you just learn them through experience. John and Molly are cracking up on their way to dinner. They are both not going to use chopsticks. So they're really happy about that. It's like a heaven-made match. Molly is like, so what's the plan for after the honeymoon? And John is like, well, I have a big 1-bedroom and we can fit. And Molly is like, well, I think we need 2 bedrooms. Plus, I am slightly allergic to cats. Now, we might not remember, but John, in the very beginning, we found out he has a cat that he's really, really close to. His cat is like his best friend. She's like, I'm slightly allergic to the cat. And John is like, well, she'll be upset if she can't sleep in the bed. And Molly is like, we'll set up a clean kitty bed in the other room. Can you stand her to not be sleeping between your legs? Or do you want me? She ain't say that, but I'm like, or do you want her to sleep on the floor in the other room? I understand our fur baby, sir, but sir, we gonna have to get our priorities in order, sir. Okay, John. So we're day 8 with Jeffy and Shanice. They're laughing in the bedroom. They're getting into separate beds. Oh, so they're in the same room. And this is their first night sleeping in the same room. Wow, Jeffy was not going to be jumped by Miss Shanice. And then they're doing some of their exercises, their counseling exercises, and they have to finish the sentence. I thought this little scene was so beautiful. And the sentence they had to complete was, you are my spouse. And then Jeffy said, and I'm in it for the long haul. And then, you are my spouse. And then Shanice said, and I got your back. I thought that was so sweet. And when Shanice said, oh, to Jeffy got like, he turned around. He was all upset. He didn't want to talk about it. I don't know if he was embarrassed, because he wasn't like upset, but it was kind of like it didn't flow. And then we see Shanice. It's the next morning. She's up and packing, and she's waking up Jeffy on day 9. We see Jackie and Ryan getting up and out. We see Molly and John up and leaving. He wants Molly to like him for him. And they're still ironing out the communications. Molly says that being married has been a challenge so far. It's bringing up a lot of her insecurities and the biggest risk she's ever taken. And John is like, I think being back home and being back to normal will be good for our marriage. Because he's probably been like, vacation John. And so that's probably like the bigger kid type John. But when he gets back home, he'll be like, grown man John with a little bit of kid, Jeffy says that he is learning that his communication skills suck. That is a really cool observation, I thought. Because you can always improve your communication skills, but you can't if you don't know that you need to. And Shanice says she's excited to have someone, so she hopes that we'll grow in love and live happily ever after. And with that, I conclude this review recap of Happily Ever After. I enjoyed the episode. I guess I give it like a B plus, A minus. It was good. Yay. I'm excited to see how things unfold with the couples. I'm rooting. I love the concept of this. You know, it's just something different, and it's interesting to have other people involved with matching you with people, because so often we just do it on our own. So I always love the idea of matchmaking and getting support and having support, you know, as we're, you know, finding our partners and stuff. If you're not a subscriber, if you are a subscriber, thank you so much. If you have been here before, welcome back. If you're brand new, welcome. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. Like, subscribe, comment. These are all things that you can do. They're like payments, but they don't really cost you anything. But they help to build our small, beautiful channel for us fabulites to light up the world. Today is the best day ever. You are the greatest, so be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Be you.